This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wrestling Omakase. It is episode number 128. And this week, I'm very pleased to be joined by a returning guest. Hello, Skylar.
Hi. Noah is the greatest.
Noah is
Disagree. Stop the podcast right now because you're not going to like what I'm going to say.
Before we get into that, though, Skylar, I do want to ask you, since I can put this in the episode title and get a few more downloads. I feel like you've never tweeted your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom, or I never saw you tweet them anyway. So, what did you think about Okada Naito, especially, and I guess also Okada Ibushi, and what was the best match and best show of 1-4 controversy?
Yeah, so I've been in wrestling exile for like 2 months. I got off Twitter for a while, as a lot of people know, just because, I think anxiety about the world just burning into like a hellscape and politics and stuff like that. I was like, I need some time away. I also spend time away from wrestling, which is the other thing that ruins my life. And I don't know, Wrestle Kingdom for me, I think I'm just done with New Japan, and I love it, and I love Naito, I love Shane. Like, there are wrestlers there that I really like, and a lot of times I will appreciate matches. I went 4 3/4 on Naito's title win, and a super satisfying.
Right, so you're very incorrect because it's 5 stars. So.
Okay, well, I only gave one match 5 stars last year, so I am like a tougher star grader. So it's pretty close to 5 stars for me.
What did you give Okada Shibata 2 years ago? 5 stars?
The 5 stars, yeah.
Because I think this is Okada. Like, obviously, everybody on Earth knows that I thought Naito was great here, and seeing Naito's win was incredible. But I thought this was the best Okada performance since that Shibata match.
Yeah, I think Okada is a weird case because obviously, I have conflicting feelings on him sometimes. I think that he depends a lot on his opponent because what his biggest strength is like featuring his opponent, making the opponent look like a total rock star. In the Shibata match, it makes Shibata just look like an absolute monster. And then in this match, I think Naito just looks like such a great total underdog babyface who just like conquers everything. Like, that is Okada's peak strength for me. So I think you're right that, he sort of brought that super A game to that match in particular.
Yeah. What do you think of Okada Ibushi, which I know I caused some I don't know, I stirred it up on Twitter today when I was like dunking on someone who was like, imagine thinking Okada Ibushi is better than Okada Naito. Well, like, look, I understand it. If you, the listener, like Okada Ibushi better, you can like whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. But giving that, like, imagine thinking X tweet about a sincere position that many people who watch both matches have, it's not some fucking fringe position. I mean, the ratings, if you want, no matter what you look at, I think it's a head-on cage match. I think they're still dead tied on grapple. It's like, it's not like you can't point to a million different like data points, and anecdotally on Twitter, there's plenty of people who think Okada Naito is better. So yes, I thought that was really a very stupid tweet. I dunked on it like just like it was, and then people got very like angry at me. But Okada Ibushi, I mean, it's like it's 15 minutes.
It's fine.
It's 15 minutes of boredom. and then it's like your really hot New Japan closing stretch. And I mean, that's really good. I watch lots of matches like that and enjoy them, but like,
all right, let's not mince words, John. Your new favorite company is New Japan. You're in the book for Gato. You love New Japan. When I saw you in real life, you're wearing a New Japan like G1 ref shirt, which is like probably the markest shirt anyone can ever wear. It's like you're literally representing New Japan. You've betrayed DDT and other PRO. You know, this Voices of Wrestling. It's just infected you.
I'm not gonna lie, like I loved New Japan last year. I didn't really try to hide it. Just something about not having the Elite there. It really won me over.
Let's play, guys. The solution to any problem.
My heart was aflutter for not having to stare at the Elite all year long. But no, I mean, I know you're doing a bit, but I still watch GDT.
No, this is not a bit. New John Penn
come on.
This is 100% real. Like, you do love New Japan the most.
I guess. I mean, look, they gave me everything I wanted. Like, what do I have to be mad about right now? Naito's walking around carrying both belts, and I don't know.
You know, it's not a moral judgment, maybe a little bit, but yeah, this is just Wrestle Omakase. What is Super J Cast? How many New Japan fan casts are there on your network nowadays? Everything Elite?
No, Everything Elite is not a New Japan fan cast. You kidding?
Hey, now that the Stardom connection is there, isn't that the only other promotion they watch?
I guess. I mean, those guys are not. I shouldn't speak for Nate. Nate likes New Japan. Mike, I think, tolerates New Japan. Aaron Bentley is not like New Japan. I mean, like that guy is not a fan. So
you know what? Maybe Aaron Bentley. Maybe we can squash the beef. Over that we can unite. Aaron Bentley at me. Let's link and build. We got this.
But no, like I mean, you're telling the truth. I did like New Japan a lot last year, and they just gave me everything I ever wanted at Wrestle Kingdom. And Hiromu's back, so
yeah,
everything's looking like John. Now, like 6 months from now, Jay White will be champion, and I'll be like, all right, I'm off the New Japan.
Like, I will always find stuff to like there because I do think they have a talented roster, and obviously they have the money and the weight and the presentation to create tons of fresh matchups whenever they need. It's sort of like WWE if they had any brain. They have all these matchups that they can do, and generally they have like talented wrestlers. But I think the house style has really congealed for me where, I think even 3 years ago, the heavyweight style is just like even the juniors sort of work like the heavyweights now. I think with Ospreay being like junior champion and thoroughly just working the heavyweight main event style, I was just like, wow, this is really just no escaping like this type of match.
See, I think they're gonna. I think they might get away from that now, though. Now that Hiromu's champion.
You're right. I did not love the Hiromu Ospreay match, which I guess is sort of a hot take.
I did love it. So,
but my expectations were super, super high. I mean, I preferred the first match that they had, and I liked that a lot. And yeah, I think Hiromu in terms of like, I think the Desperado match is better. I think some of his Dragon Lee matches are better. He just had like, when I like think of like a classic Hiromu performance, even like the Taiji Ishimori match is like a total carry job because Taiji Ishimori is garbage, but like, I love that match, and I didn't feel like this was quite
my 2018 match of the year, Hiromu and Taiji.
Yeah,
but yeah, Taiji's never done anything really. I mean, look, he did the junior. It's not hard, I guess, to look like the superior member of a tag team with El Fantasma, but they did some tag stuff that wasn't bad. Although not that Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I remember people talking about how like Noah was in trouble because they lost their only good junior, and now their junior division is like better than New Japan's.
Yeah, but yeah, the Hiromu. I'm cautiously optimistic that they will have a really good junior division this year with like Hiromu, Desperado. I mean, Ryu Lee is there full time.
Yeah. I mean, all they have to do for me is I would just love if the juniors got anything to do like after the G1. Because if you look at like traditionally, usually the junior title gets defended like maybe once in the second half of the year, and you don't really get any junior singles matches. So
everything's gonna be fucking different this year anyway.
Because of the fall G1 and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the other exciting thing to me about New Japan this year was we're finally gonna get like out of these like the malaise, like
any type of shakeup, I think is good.
So we're not gonna have that fall period where it's like We all know exactly what the matches are, but we gotta kill 4 months. But
yeah, I'm definitely not alone in this take. But my favorite period of New Japan was like, 2013-ish to even going into 2014 when they just had to pack shows a lot more. So they just had to just like stack shows constantly, and it was totally unsustainable. And dropping that model is probably what led to their business boom. But it's also like, man, that promotion is like what I want to watch.
Yeah, that New Japan. If I can like sit here and rank the years, 2013 would probably be among my favorites. The only, I don't know what your least favorite year is. For me, it's like 2018 easily. That is just a dire year.
I really disliked the Broken Okada stuff. Like, there was just a lot of things. Obviously
the fucking Bullet Club Civil War shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to not enjoy.
That goes so long. Like, I don't even know if people realize how long that goes, because that starts in like fucking February with like Kenny and Cody.
Yeah, because doesn't it start like, and then there's like it's on all the New Japan like USA shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
It goes like February to the Kenny Cody stuff goes all the way through to like that fucking San Francisco show, and then that ends. That's in like June, and then the end of that show is like the fucking Girls of Destiny jumping them to start like the even more horrible Elite versus OGs feud, which never has any blow off. They just announced they're no longer the Blood Club on a boat. If people miss me burying New Japan, they just have to go back and listen to some of those 2018 episodes, because man, that was a dire year. Yeah, the Kenny title reign, that was also very dire. I don't know, like the Kenny title reign, I know some people still bravely defend, but man, it's even if you absolutely love that match where he beats Okada, which I understand that, but like everything after that, like the Ishii title match is like so far below the G1 match, the fucking 3-way, and then he just loses to Tanahashi, which is probably the best thing he ever did in that reign. But
you know what? We don't have to talk about New Japan. I'm just like, just like WWE, my feelings are just so dead about New Japan right now. I just feel like just thinking about them is making me start to fall asleep. It's just so frustrating.
I'm excited for the New Beginning stuff, but I guess we'll see. At least Naito will be a fresh champion, and his reign really can't be much worse than that Kenny reign I just talked about. So at least he has a low bar for like first big title reign for a big member. He had the belt for like 45 days or however the fuck.
Yeah, this could be like a huge the reign for him where he like breaks records and stuff like that. It could turn out really nice. So
I kind of think he's holding it till next year's Wrestle Kingdom now. I don't know if I would have said that before he won it, but like there's something about the way
he won it was very definitive.
Yeah, and like Okada gives that salute, which that actually might be, and I'm obviously very, very biased as a Naito fan, but that might be my favorite image ever in New Japan. Like Okada giving him that LIJ salute after Naito just said, let's do this again. But it's just such a magnanimous thing for a character that is often a humongous jerk. So I think it's a good little moment to give him and kind of humanize him a little. Now he's going to fight Taichi. It's exciting.
Yeah, I always enjoy their matches, so definitely looking forward to that.
So let's move over then, like we said, to the main topic, which is Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, the real main event, the real greatest company in Japan and maybe the world.
January 4th and 5th. So I have you on here because you did watch a lot of Noah last year, right? Even though you didn't watch a lot of other promotions.
Yeah, last year I watched everything that made tape from Noah. I sort of every year I will take one or two promotions that I will say like, okay, this year like other things might fall by the wayside, but I'm going to keep up with this all year. And Noah seemed like a lot. I tried to do that with All Japan 2 years ago, and with like all the house shows and stuff, it gets really, really tough. So Noah is like a lot easier to keep up with. There's just there's not that much that makes tape. They honestly, that's like the dirty secret. They really don't have that many shows that make tape every year compared to other companies.
is that January 30th show they advertised going to make tape with the?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I've learned. I mean, my dirty secret when it comes to even promotions that I follow regularly is that like I really have gotten the only way to do it to follow like 15 promotions is to pick and choose.
Yeah.
So like All Japan, it's like you watch the Korakuens, you watch the big shows, and that's it. DDT, you watch the Korakuens, and then if
I don't want to hear you complain because every Wednesday I log on to Twitter and I see you talking about All Elite Wrestling, which I know it's just on TV. You just put on something else. You don't have to watch it.
That is gonna stop.
I know you need your fix of Dark Order. I know you're just rubbing your hands together like, man, I can't wait to see whoever Peter Avalon.
I don't think Peter Avalon has been on TNT once, honestly. Maybe he has, but no, it is the Dark Order and the Nightmare Collective that everybody hates. So I guess you don't watch a ton of AEW.
I was at the first Dynamite show, which was a fine show, but I just have no desire to. I mean, I will, believe me, just like NXT UK, I will log on to Twitter and then laugh at things that happen in it. But beyond that, that's the extent of the brain power that's going to get for me. I
mean, the shows can be watchable, and that's I guess why I've lasted this long. Like there can be some fun matches and stuff. It's just like I don't know, even the stuff that people say is good, like the easiest example for me is the Cody MJF feud, where people will rave about that, but it's like the way they do their angles, because they have these quarterly pay-per-views, it's just so fucking slow, and it feels like Cody and MJF just say the exact same promo every goddamn week. And like that's the stuff that's really grinding me down, even more than like the Dark Order. The Dark Order is fucking stupid, but like it's 5 minutes a week usually. I mean, I can handle that. But these Cody and MJF promos are just so fucking long.
Well, MJF is one of the most overrated wrestlers on earth. He's not even that good of a promo.
Thank you.
He's a terrible wrestler. And then his promos where it's like, man, if you don't think this guy is a star, he'll basically just say anything, and because the crowd loves. Like, they love anything that happens, they'll cheer for it or boo him like really loud, and they're like, wow, look at this star. he's basically like the Miz, or there's like probably 10 guys on the indies right now who
Skylar, can I give a real hot take? Comparing him to the Miz is insult to the Miz. I have seen many Miz matches I've seen many Miz matches that are way better than anything I've ever seen MJF do. But yeah, do you know I don't know if you've ever looked at the iTunes reviews for Wrestling Omakase, but one of the only negative reviews I've ever gotten, I think we've gotten 2, and one of them is just some guy who got very angry that I buried MJF. He's like, why did John like MJF? That's the actual review. Well,
I hope you get a few more now. I mean, he is just like, I don't get what he offers that like Tony Deppen doesn't, that like, but 5,000 times better. Like, the best MJF match I've ever seen was like a 3 3/4 match against Wheeler Yuta and Beyond 2 years ago. And I was just like, all right, maybe MJF could eventually become a decent wrestler. And he still has not.
The All-In Weekend MJF was in that match against, the wrestler who's like, I can't think of his name now. Well, anyway, he's in a match at AEW. That was like one of the most excruciating things I've ever sat through live.
Was that Matt Cross or
no?
That was the All-In match.
That was All-In. Yeah, but anyway.
I forgot you went to All-In. Real new John Pan just at it again. We'll go to see All-In just to see what like Ibushi.
All of my friends were there. I don't know. I went.
Yeah,
but
new John Pan.
There was no way in how I was going to All Out though. So people did try to get me to go, but I was like, nah, I'm good.
There's a free Ring of Honor show in Baltimore, which, as you know, is pretty close to Washington, D.C., which is really testing my patience. Like, will I go for basically to see Jonathan Gresham? That's basically the question right now, for free.
What about, isn't Dragon Lee will be there? That's something.
Yeah, I need to check out the lineup because I think Roosh will be there. I mean, there are wrestlers I like, but I mean, you do have to go to an ROH show. So
the woo man is gonna turn it around.
Oh, yeah.
I do like how the expectations are so low for Ring of Honor, and like they're at such a low place that all Marty Scurll has pretty much done is book a bunch of New Japan guys, which everyone agreed was like killing the company like a year ago, like relying on New Japan guys. But everybody's just so happy to see New Japan guys back on the Ring show. They're like, Marty's saving the company, which I can't even really disagree with that take from where the fuck they were. But it's just funny that everybody's like, yeah, Marty, turning around by booking Jay White.
Yeah, I really need him in a suit being like an authority figure. Like, I want him to basically just go full Vince McMahon, insert himself into every angle. Like, at this point, ROH should just be good for comedy standards. Just give me something to laugh at.
Yeah. But that Mania weekend show, I wonder how, like, if that does better than, like, some of the more hype shows, I'm going to laugh. I guess we'll say. If people decide to go all the way to Lakeland to see Kenta. But,
I mean, Kenta and ROH, coming back to ROH is super cool. I guess the only problem is that eventually you have to watch like a 2020 Kenta match, which is not my favorite experience in the world at the moment. So
come on. That Goto match was awesome.
I did not love the Goto match.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was really. I was like one of the higher people on it, but I love that match. But I'm a huge Hiroki Goto mark, so. Yeah. Anyway, so Noah, that's what we're actually talking about.
Talking about the real wrestling. Yeah, you're dragging me back into this place I don't want to be. I just can't resist like getting mired in this.
So when we were talking about like the amount of shows to watch, I think that's how we got off on this tangent. Yes. And like I saw, I would say the majority of the really hyped matches. A lot of which were good, a lot of which didn't quite land at that level for me. I think that the one that people hyped up a lot that I didn't love as much as I wanted to, even though it was two wrestlers that I do really like, was Hideki and Go, which like that was like a 3.5 star match for me.
Yeah,
it was good, but it never hit that like match of the year level. That I mean, those are two guys we're going to talk about in these two shows. I love them both on these shows. So the match they actually had together was a little disappointing for me. But like most of the other hype matches, like pretty much everything Axis did was awesome. A lot of the Kiyomiya. I was like the high person, I feel like, on Kiyomiya versus Kano from that Sumo Hall show. I didn't see a lot of love for that, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah. So. It's weird because I think that like Kiyomiya in general, I mean, Noah fans, even like the most hardcore people are very divided on him. A lot of people just like do not like him and probably will never like him. And I totally get that because he has had some truly mind-numbing matches on top. But ultimately, I feel like, he has had like a handful of matches that I would consider like very good to great. He hasn't had anything that's like truly bottom of the barrel, like sub 2-star, like garbage. And ultimately, he's been like, he portrays, I think he's come a long way in terms of portraying himself, in terms of having a little bit more of an aura, which is important when you're like on top. So I think he's done a good job. And I think, we'll talk about it more later, but I think he's in a good place going forward. I actually think that this year he will have, he'll be able to work on more of his actual matches, not have as much of the pressure of being on top the entire year.
Also, he's 23. Oh, Skylar dying on the air. He's 23. I mean, like that's like when you say stuff like, "Oh, people will never like him." Like the fucking kid isn't even. He's like, not even legal to rent a car in America. I think. I mean, 23 years old is like ridiculously young.
Yeah, he is. He still has a lot of room to grow, and I think some people saw the title change coming out of these shows as like maybe Noah's down on him a little bit, but I don't see it that way at all. No, I think it's just a really good move to just sort of reset him a little bit and then bring him back like way hotter next time.
Yeah, I don't think they. I mean, look, they gave him a win the next night. Which I mean, I don't think they're not going to fucking bury him or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go. Let's start getting into these shows. The first one was the January 4th, New Sunrise at Korakuen Hall. Now, I got to say, a lot of people laughed when they went they announced they were going head to head with the Tokyo Dome. And this thing, they drew 1,539 fans, a super no vacancy full house. So you gotta give them credit here.
Yeah.
That gambit worked. I mean, it makes sense because January 4th, a day that people think about wrestling. Even if let's say you're a fan who loves Noah, but also like kind of likes New Japan, you could still go to the Dome the next day.
Exactly.
I mean, so I think that probably worked for that. Like maybe if the only Dome was on January 4th, maybe you lose like a couple hundred of those fans that are like, well, I have to go to the Dome. But here it's like, well, go see your actual favorite promotion, and then you can still go to the Tokyo Dome on the 5th. So
yeah, I wonder if it's something that they would do going forward. I know some people have brought up that I've seen is that they, some people think it's like sort of low rent to be like, sort of like the company's always running the same time as WrestleMania. They're like piggybacking off of it. But at the same time, I feel like it's in Tokyo. It's during like, a time where a lot of people are going to be watching wrestling anyway. It's not like you're going to some obscure location around the country to go and run shows and piggyback off New Japan. You're literally running in like your peak, place where your attendance is usually highest anyway. So,
well, and every company in the country does it. So
exactly,
I mean, they're going head to head, but I mean, like I don't, you're talking about. I mean, look, All Japan had those 2 Korakuens, long before like New Japan was like that dominant. So it's always been like a thing to have a lot of shows around New Year's. So I don't know. I think that's silly. Anyway, so let's talk about the actual show here, which unfortunately, if you're wondering, by the way, if you have no idea about Noah and you're wondering why we're talking about January 4th and 5th here on the 19th, it's because the January 4th show did not air on G+, which is like a satellite network, I believe owned by Nippon TV, one of the broadcast networks. It did not air until January 13th. So it aired like this week. So it's basically the reason why we're talking about it now. And the January 5th show aired live, but like, what the fuck is the point of talking about that show?
Yeah.
Like I could have come on the air and talked about it, but I'm like, let's talk about the New Year's dash to their Wrestle Kingdom before we watch the Wrestle Kingdom. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I know, like some people watched that 1-5 show like immediately when it aired, but I waited until
it did not feel right to do that to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's only going to get more complicated because I don't know if you've been following the way Noah has been handling like their current junior tournament, but they'll just post like half of random matches on Periscope and then some full matches randomly, but it's like completely out of order and some of them are clipped and there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It doesn't seem very helpful to me. I don't really get why they would do that.
Why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to make it. They're not going to make it easy on you to follow it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see all the Dick Togo matches. That's all. Just give me all of them and just one show. Just put them all on one show so I can just watch it and be done. But
yeah. But yeah, so the G+ thing, that's annoying, and it would be nice if that would change and they would join the world here. And like, I don't know. I mean, some people get really mad if you say they should get a streaming service, but like, I mean, even if you don't buy the streaming service, the matches will show up on pirate sites for you.
Yeah,
if that's what you're complaining about. Like, I don't it's not like you can't watch New Japan stuff without signing up for New Japan World.
Yeah, so, just do what everyone else does and just have a group DM that everyone posts what streaming services they have and just mooch off everyone else. That's what the thinking people do.
So the Noah, I don't know what the fuck they would call it, the Noah Arc or whatever, that would still be a net win even if you're, not going to subscribe. Yeah. But yeah, so we opened up with the Akitoshi Saito and Masao Inoue beating Mohamed Yone and Quiet Storm, the 50 Funky Powers, in 7:59. Inoue used an inside cradle on Yone. This was, look, if you don't like Inoue, that's like one of those, I don't know if we can be friends type things. that man has ruled for like 20 years. He's always been a guy. He's like this he's one of these guys that like was perfect. Like he was ready to age in like 2005, because like he has this surly look to him anyway. He has this ridiculously awesome theme song with like a fucking siren. And I don't know, I guess it's like the Japanese Scott Steiner theme song is the only way I can describe it, but way better somehow. And I don't know, and he just has a very like trickster style, like not like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Can you compare it to Toriano? I guess you could.
I mean, I would compare him. I think Masanobu Fuchi is probably someone who I view as like similar, where it's like old guy who basically works like somewhat comedy, occasionally kind of serious matches, always working like very undercard matches for the most part.
That Inoue Akiyama title match, that was so fucking. I know that one's controversial to some people, but that match is so fucking good.
That match rules.
Yeah, but yeah, he tried to go like 1-on-2 just via foot stomping and eye raking, and it kind of worked. And he cradled
Yes.
Yodi for the pin, so we got to hear the theme song again, which made it great. So obviously the best opener of all time.
Yeah, I feel like Noah openers, I do slightly prefer if you're talking about like undercard matches between all the old guys. Like I would slightly prefer maybe a company like All Japan's, like their old guard. But no, I think, they do a good job with at least having like entertaining acts. I mean, 50 Funky Powers, I guess we could talk about that a little bit because they're going to be, phased out, I guess, or at least, Quiet Storm is leaving Noah. So we'll see what happens with that. He talked a little bit last year about like wanting to do some American wrestling and work indies and stuff, but it does feel super odd that he would leave Noah. I don't get what else is out there for him exactly. I mean, how can you not like 50 Funky Powers? It's literally like like a disco tag team, but one of the guys just is really into disco and one of them just doesn't care about disco at all. It's like a great gimmick.
Yeah. The second match, Tadasuke, is it? No, they always say
You're the weeb.
Tadasuke.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know. I always say Tadasuke, but then I feel like on the air on Noah shows they say like Tadasuke. So
that's how I have said.
Yeah. So it's like Tadasuke and Yohei. They beat Hitoshi Kumano and Seiya Morihashi in 7:53 when Tadasuke pinned Morihashi. First of all, I love him running wild and doing a Hogan impersonation.
Yes.
That was so goddamn funny.
It
was
like one of my favorite moments of this show.
He has, like, if you can't picture this, picture a short and stocky Japanese man who has very long blonde hair for some reason that looks ridiculous on him. He looks so fucking stupid, and it's perfect. Like, It's so perfect that he looks that stupid. And he's, like, playing into it. He's doing the ear cup. He's doing the finger point. I'm just like, okay, this is fucking amazing, and I want a lot more of this.
Yeah, every company should have someone like him because he offers something completely unique that no other wrestler gives you. And some people are just super critical of him, which I don't really understand because he's, like, perfect in this role. He's perfect, just like an undercard tag guy who's just going to, like, make you laugh and hit some huge moves and occasionally get like a small little push. Like this is like a great role for him.
It's not like he fucking sucks or anything. I don't know why people freak out. I mean, he's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of worse wrestlers, and he'd be like in the upper half of the AEW roster. Match 3, Shuhei Taniguchi and Daisuke Harada beating El Hijo de Wagner Jr. and Hajime Ohara in 10:42. Harada pinned Ohara with the Katayama German suplex hold. This was like the first match that was, I guess, quote unquote, seriously good. Like this was really fun.
Yeah,
like a 3.5-star undercard match.
Yeah, I really like this. I mean, Harada, like, what more can you say about him? He is like one of the more underrated wrestlers on earth in terms of just being like a really consistently great wrestler. But I think people like don't even consider when they're talking about top 30 wrestlers, top 50 wrestlers in the world. Like he is great, and especially in something like this where it's like an undercard tag match that he doesn't have to perform in, and he just goes balls to the wall. Like he is totally out there to shine, and he also does a really good job with Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Like I love that matchup together.
Taniguchi too with Wagner I thought was really good. Like they had a strike exchange, like ending with like a Wagner drop kick, and then like this huge like Taniguchi Larry that was awesome. But I've always had a soft spot for him, even though I mean for a long time he fucking sucked. But he was one of those guys like I don't know when he was Maybach and carrying around that stupid scythe. There was like something about it where it's like I like this guy even though he's terrible. Yeah. But I think he legitimately looks like a lot better in the last like year or so since I started. Pretty much everything I've seen him in. So I don't know if it's like he's really hitting like some kind of old man peak or something because I think he's like what his early 40s or something.
Yeah, he's like 42, 43, I think.
Yeah, so like I think he's getting better with age. So that's good to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is like Tadasuke. He's just a guy. He serves a very like particular purpose now, and for me, I'm just like, yeah, this is like what I like about Noah is that they have guys that aren't maybe necessarily the like workhorses that you would find in some other more hyped promotions, but they all serve their purposes extremely well.
And I want to see that there's like he's teaming up with Axis against Sugaragan, I think, at Korakuen. That could be really good.
Yeah.
So I think he's like he really shines in these tags. So
yeah.
Match. The one thing that's weird, by the way, why the fuck is O'Hara like did O'Hara like run over Nasawa's I don't know like cars? Like I don't really get it because like he's really good and he never gets pushed in this regime.
Yeah, but I don't really have many complaints about the new regime in general, but there are some guys who just clearly are sort of getting phased out or just sort of jobbing nowadays just because, for whatever reason, there just were no plans for them. Which I think happens with any regime change, and I don't think it's a huge deal, but
it's not a huge deal, but like I mean, I was at a Noah show at like one of the last shows they did, I think, or I don't know if it was one of the last, but before they closed the old Ariake, the different Ariake, where like the main thing in 2016 was like O'Hara like trying to become the number one contender for the junior title. And these fucking salarymen were like so into him. Like they were going completely crazy for him on that show. He was like almost the only thing that over on that entire show. And this was like still during the, I guess, the quote unquote bad period. But I don't know. It's like very weird to me just to see how much of a non-factor he's become now. Because after seeing him be that over. So
yeah. Well, what do you think about Dr. Wagner Jr.?
I thought he looked great. I was going to talk more about him tomorrow because when we talk about the 1-5 show because he's in a big singles match. But yeah, I thought he's one of those like luchadors that just looked really, really natural during Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I was very
never tell.
With the luchadors do translate weirdly to other countries. I mean, it's true in America too. You see how many people complain about like, oh, some hyped luchador comes over and then they don't have a great match with some terrible indie guy, and they're like, wow, this guy sucks. Soberano Jr. coming over and wasn't able to pull something out of Punishment Martinez, and people decided that he's bad. I think they've done a pretty good job about picking. I think Elio, though, Dr. Wagner is a smart pick because he's someone who is probably not super hyped, but offers a lot and has a lot of charisma. And then, they also brought over Dragonbane, and I think they've picked very well for, in terms of like the indie lucha guys or just the lucha guys who aren't super tied down to a company, getting some new blood in there.
Maybe wonder if like maybe his dad gave him tips because his dad was always like really good in Japan.
Yeah,
when he wrestled in New Japan back in the day. So maybe his dad helped. Match number 4, Kano and Yoshiki Inamura defeated Hideki Suzuki and Kinya Okada in 9:48 via referee stop. Kano putting down Okada with the right high kick. The Hideki and Kano stuff was great. I hope they continue in that direction. And then he did go after him to sleeper after the match, so maybe they will build to a singles match, although they didn't really announce anything going forward. But I hope so, because all that Hideki Kano stuff was really cool, and that could be a really good singles match.
Yeah, I loved the whole Pulse match, like the whole angle, and I think attaching them to 2 younger guys who are, definitely need like a little bit of juice, a little bit of like a featured spot. I think this match was, even though it wasn't like the most amazing match ever, it was really well put together and it was just like a very smart move to put these 4 guys in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
Match.
Oh, sorry, you gonna say something else about this?
I was gonna say that Kinya Okada, I mean, I think he's pretty much solidified now as the second best Okada in Japan, behind Yusuke. So
I knew you were gonna go.
I'm pretty happy with that. But it's just like Hideki Suzuki, Kaisuke Ishii. There's just lots of wrestlers who are just better than their more famous counterparts, and that's all right.
I mean, the Ishii one is honestly the one that's probably closest for me. Like those 2. But I mean, Keisuke Ishii is so good, and now he's in fucking Gambare.
I know that does hurt my soul a little bit.
It's really weird. The DET's like, oh, we have this amazing worker. It's time to make him the new ace of Gambare. But I mean, it's not that big a deal. He still shows up in DET, and he's still great. So I guess it's not really worth complaining about. Match number 5, Doug Williams and Chris Ridgway. Now I'm not pronouncing English names correctly. Defeating Naomichi Marufuji and Minoru Tanaka in 13-22 when Williams pinned Tanaka with the Chaos Theory. This was the one match on the undercard that probably was like the most just there for me. There were some nice kicks by Ridgway, but I thought Doug Williams looked a little bit rough, and before he finally pinned Tanaka, I only got like 2.5 on this. It was all right.
Yeah, I think Doug Williams still, I don't think he's like completely washed or anything because, once he got on the mat, he was able to do some stuff. But I think maybe having him more as like an undercard, like a guy in like 8-man tags and stuff like that is probably smarter than, almost sort of weirdly teasing like a Marufuji match again. It's just like, okay, we're really going to go for this. Like,
I will say it is really funny that they use a very, very like distorted MP3 of like the British Invasion TNA.
Yes, it's so cool.
Like it's very like you can tell it's like this thing
it's like 96 kilobytes per second. It's like the lowest bit rate possible.
Yeah. Match 6, Michael Elgin beating Katsuhiko Nakajima in 11:55 with the Elgin Bomb. I don't know. I mean, I've seen takes all over the place on this one. I thought it was dull for a long time, but I liked when Nakajima like battered him with kicks. That was cool.
Yeah.
And it finally got like a little interesting around that point, but then Nakajima totally whiffed on a kick, and then Elgin won pretty quick after that with the Buckle Bomb Elgin Bomb combo. I don't know. I went 3 1/4. Ultimately, I can see if people like this more, but Elgin really hasn't done anything for me since he had one 5-star match from me. I don't know. Do you remember the match?
Probably the Naito match.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done anything for me since that Naito match. So
yeah, I actually really liked his early New Japan stuff a lot more. Like his Nakajima match in the G1, I preferred over the Naito Omega match that was like super hyped when Omega, went to the final, and it was like a hugely hyped match. I mean, I think he has a place in Japan. I just don't think he's been good for 2 years, and whether that's because of outside of the ring stuff, which maybe it's distracting him, maybe he's just too busy, trying to cover up rape allegations for other people. Who knows what he's busy with nowadays? But I don't really see him being like a top of the line worker in Japan anymore. And what's weird is I would to say coming out of both of these shows, he seems like a guy who is not only going to be a part of the company going forward, but someone who could be really, really heavily pushed. So
it probably makes sense because he seems like he's still popular. So I can't really I totally get where they're coming from, but I just don't really have a lot of interest in it. So
maybe the Japanese fans aren't reading like Vic Venom Bites' like expose of Michael Elgin. They aren't quite as clued in on that.
Wait, I actually have no idea what you're talking about either. So Vic Venom Bites was involved in that?
No, so that guy. So anyway, the reason the Elgin accusations came out was because Vic Venom Bites, Justin, whatever that weird guy is, Frey's friend, so he was mad because he had posted something about how the accusation against Sean Orleans was bullshit, and then people dogpiled him, and he was like, well, the only reason I'm saying that is because Michael Elgin DM'd me all this stuff, and then he posted all screenshots of all the DMs, and that's how the whole thing got, blew up. It was because of that random guy. Yeah. So wrestling Twitter undefeated.
I didn't realize that. So shout out to that fucking asshole.
The one good thing in his life he's ever done.
I don't know why he would be listening. Match number 7, the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title. Kotaro Suzuki and Atsushi Kotoge defeating Hao and Neo in 10:36. The kill switch by Kotoge on Neo, their first defense. I was a little bit surprised that they retained here. I mean, they give this big rebranding to, the ex. How is the ex Yuki Sato, and Neo is the ex Hiroki. So, if people are wondering who the fuck How and Neo are, but they give that big rebranding to them and have them join, Congo, and they just lose here. A little weird, but
I don't really get it because I think their old gimmick. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was pretty good, like 3 1/4. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of personality under the old gimmick, so like rebranding them as like bootleg Godos like doesn't. I don't really understand what the point of all this is, especially like you said, if they're just gonna job instantly. But who knows? Maybe it's some sort of future, especially I guess if they want to do something where they cycle in Masaaki to Miya again, and they want to sort of do something with the whole stable, or if they have big plans for Inamura. Like there are reasons to rebrand them, but I really don't get them losing this quickly.
Yeah, I kind of figured they were locked to win, but I mean, Kotaro and Kotoge are a good team, so I guess I don't really have a huge complaint with them going forward, but it's just a little weird. Match number 8, the GHC Junior Heavyweight Title. Yoshinari Ogawa defeating Hayata in 2047 with the figure 4 pinfall. Hayata failed in his 4th defense, and Ogawa becomes the 41st champion. Why don't you go first on this one? I assume you're going to rave about this a lot.
Yeah, I went 4.5 on this. I think it's one of probably my number 2 match of the year right now. And I think it's sort of the perfect capper to Ogawa's whatever you want to call it, run story, basically like his last couple months in Noah, and how he's basically just become like one of the most compelling wrestlers in the world to me. I mean, he is a guy who I've always enjoyed, even like when he was much maligned as, people call him like, oh, one of the worst like top push to the Noah guys ever and all this other stuff. And I think he's been.
I never got that back in the day. Like, what the fuck would people problem with him?
Like
that. That Masawa team was awesome.
Yeah, and he totally served a purpose, and a lot of his big matches he delivered. So, and like I said, he's a guy who plays a role, and I think that over the past year, he's become a guy who, of course, now the crowd has been really behind him, and he's been doing a lot more tag work, and like everything's just been hitting, and he's been going on all cylinders. And there's just like no one in Noah that I like when I tune in, I'm like most excited to see him, which sounds crazy, but he's like. I mean, there's a take going around recently. I was like, who's the best over 50 wrestler in the world? I think it's him. I mean, I can't think of anyone else that is.
People get very mad at a Voice of Wrestling member, Mike Spears, for saying it was Mochizuki.
Well, he also was trying to, come at Noah, or come at Lucha, which is just rude. I mean,
I don't think you think Mike Spears was trying to come at Lucha? Well, Mike Spears loves Lucha.
He said something about how he's like, don't talk about like washed up luchadors.
Well, I think that's because I think he realized who quote tweeted him, but I don't think
I'm gonna have to fight him too. Every person of everything elite, I'm slowly going down the line.
I mean, I totally get where Mike is coming from. I think Mochizuki rules, but I don't know if you can. Look, Twitter would be so much better if people would stop getting angry about other people's wrestling takes. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean Mochizuki. I mean, now that he's in good companies, like he is good. I'm glad that he escaped Dragon Gate, and
still in Dragon Gate.
For a night. But Dragon Gate is another company that I just like can never connect with. So, but every time I see Mochizuki, I'm just like, yeah, he is good. All right, he's not overhyped like a lot of the other guys are when they like leave Dragon Gate. So,
But yeah, so Ogawa. I thought this was an amazing performance by Ogawa. The person I thought who let this match down a little bit was Hayata, and he's the one member of RATEL'S I've never really liked that much. It just like to me he has like the same kind of sloppiness as Yohei, but like without the appeal. Is the best way I can put it. Like Yohei does wacky shit and all these ranas and stuff, and he's fun to watch, even though he can't really sell and he can't really, do a lot of, stuff that you'd expect at a high level promotion like Noah. We just talked about Tadusuke's an idiot, and it's great. So like that's fine. And Harada, like we talked about, is like one of the best, like legitimately one of the best juniors in the world.
Yeah.
But Hayata is just like he's very just there for me. And I thought, he let this match down a little bit. Like I just saw his leg selling was very spotty. There was a couple times in the figure 4 where I thought like, I don't know, I just saw his facial expressions look very stupid for what he was actually trying to convey. So he's the reason why I went 3 3/4 on this. Ogawa I thought was awesome. Ogawa, like destroying his leg was fun. I just wish he had a better wrestler in there, I guess would be my major complaint.
Yeah, I like Hayata a lot, but I think, I guess if you sort of zoom out and just look at the state of RATEL'S in general, and obviously last year, like they had a lot of stop and start, like, oh, we're breaking up, oh, we're back together, oh, someone got injured, so we have to get back together. Like, I didn't quite enjoy how much stop and start there was. And what's weird is, I mean, Harada is probably my favorite wrestler in the faction, but Yohei is the guy who I thought had several moments as like a singles guy where I felt like, oh, this guy has like real future star potential, and the crowd was really behind him at different points. And when he was going off against other members of RATEL'S, like it always seemed like really heated. So it feels weird that I don't know, maybe this title loss means something different, but I always felt weird that Hayata sort of got the push that I felt like Yohei probably should have gotten instead.
Yeah. I mean, I will be honest, that was the most confusing part of following Noah last year for someone who would parachute in and out. It's like are RATEL'S together? Are they not together? Is this guy leaving? Is this guy back? It was very confusing trying to figure out what the fuck was going on at RATEL'S at any one time. Like I'd watch and then 2 months later I'd be like, okay, so he's back? He just turned on them? What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah. Thankfully, just like with DDT, there's some British lady who is just the biggest Noah nerd on the planet who translates everything. And she makes my life a lot easier. So shout out to her.
Do you want to plug her actual account?
Was it Hisami? It's like HI5AME. Yeah, pretty sure that's her Twitter. But she translates all the Noah backstage stuff, and she does sort of like dramatic DDT. She'll do card previews and stuff and live reports from shows, and very useful for following the company since a lot of angles will happen on house shows or not make tape or happen in weird orders. So very helpful for keeping up with stuff like that.
Yeah, so it is HIFAME. You were correct, or HI5 AME. Thank you. The semi-main event, the GHC national title, Tagashi Sugiura and Masa Kiyomiya. This was the one where I apparently liked this way more than most of the regular Noah fans. Sugiura beating him in 2032 with an avalanche-style Olympic slam for second defense. I went 4 1/4. I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, and then I went 4 on this.
I was very surprised to hear that people hated this. I was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? I mean, people said it was I guess a very basic match, but I'm like, why does it have to be bad? I don't really get it. They started with a big, the big shoulder block battle. Kiyomiya went after his leg on the floor, and Sugiura was too tough and Germaned him on the floor. That was awesome. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This match ruled. So, I mean, it's not it wasn't the greatest match of all time or anything, but I thought this was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much what you want for a sort of Hoss fight type thing. And
the crowd loved it. By the way.
It was super hot. I think Masaaki Kiyomiya is really good in this role. And Sugiura, of course, is Sugiura, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live. It's just I don't, for me as a semi-main, this is perfect. Because also it is pretty different, I would say, from the other matches. I mean, the top 3 here I don't really have any complaints about them because they're all different and serve different purposes and are all really well worked and good. So
yeah, I don't know. It was a very weird one for me where I was I felt like I watched a different match than other people, but I mean, I get it if maybe you hold these 2 wrestlers on such a high regard that you expected more or whatever. But like you said, for a main event, I thought this was really good. The main event for the GHC Heavyweight Title. Speaking of really good, Go Shiozaki defeating Kaito Kiyomiya in 27-42 with a moonsault press. So Kaito failed his 7th defense, and Go became the 33rd champion. This really was I don't know. I mean, if I'm the highest person on this, and that's fine, but I mean, this was a full Carter Star match for me. I mean, this is my number 2 match of the year so far after Okada Naito, and I don't. It was everything I wanted out of this match. I will also freely admit I am I would go Shiozaki Mark going way back, talking his Ring of Honor stay, back in the day. So I always root for that guy. I always find myself a little higher in him, I think, than a lot of people. His All Japan stuff with Joe Doring and everything I really loved. So I get it if you're just not into Go Shiozaki and you're never going to be into Go Shiozaki. That's fine. but I thought this was fucking incredible. Like just a really, I know the word epic is kind of overused in this context, but a really great like epic style match. I have all these spots written down I can go into. But I guess just what are your macro thoughts on this match, Scott?
I thought it was very, very good. I would say maybe a shade below match of the year level for me. I have it 4.25, which, like we said, is a very good rating for me, and would probably be in like my top 5-ish for the year so far. Only having watched like maybe 100 matches tops. But I've actually gone hot and cold on Go over the years. I think he's also just been put in some really tough positions. Like here, work like a 30-minute main event against someone who's not that good. Like, he has not always had the easiest road to putting on great matches, but when he's on, he's on. I mean, there's no doubting. Like when Go is like really in high gear, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers. So I think this really played to his strengths. I think it really was Go's night. It really featured. I would say the match was more built around him and him having this big performance.
So behind him. The crowd was like so behind him too.
Yeah. And I think in terms of the decision for him to win, I think I'm totally fine with it because, like I said, I think it gives Kaito a chance to reset a little bit, and you sort of just go into Noah in 2020 with like some new directions and new opponents, and you have a lot of directions you can go in that you wouldn't if Kaito was still champ. So I think it was the right decision.
I like that this match started really fast. I like that they both were wearing like the green outfits, almost like they were battling like for the right to be Masawa's like favorite son.
Yeah.
So like that stuff was really good.
Which is weird because then like the Go's also lit up in the dark. I don't know if you saw that like when the lights went down, it was glow in the dark.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to, expose Kaito as swaggerless, which he is. Go is like the real man, but
Go he does like these brutal like sounding machine gun chops, which machine gun chops can look really bad sometimes, but they look great here. He did like this delayed twisting suplex off the second rope where Kaito like landed on his side, looked absolutely brutal. There was a great spot towards like the 20-minute mark where like Go was just like, shaking his head at this elbow strike, like basically like you're not going to beat me with this bullshit, and like just completely kills him with a lariat, which was like one of my favorite spots of the entire weekend. And then Go did the sleeper suplex, but Kaito like kept firing back with the drop kicks, and then Kaito did I think maybe the best version of the the Puro no sell after Lair, where he actually stumbled as he tried to get back up, which looks great. And then Go just like battered him with more of these short arm lariats. Kaito tried a headbutt, and then Go almost like killed him with another lariat for 2. This is probably another reason why I love this match. I'm a huge lariat mark. But yeah, I mean the only fucking flaw in the finishing stretch was Go almost slipping on that moonsault. But even that was like an almost flaw. So, it's 4 3/4 for me. I almost went the full 5 on this. Like that's how much I love this match. So this was incredibly good. Continues the tradition of Noah having like really good GHC title matches at the start of the year, because wasn't that Kaito Kano match last year like right at the start?
Yeah. And I think that was last year, and you really loved it, if I remember. It was like on your match of the year list for a while.
Yeah, so I did really love that match too. So this one could probably stay there for a while too. I really adored this match. So we'll see how Go and Kaito holds up. But this is, like I said, this was better than anything. And I know people got mad at this take, but I think this was better than anything else on January 4th. I put it slightly above Ospreay and Hiromu, which I gave the same rating. I definitely put it above Okada Ibushi that I gave 4.25. The only thing I put above this match so far for me is Naito Okada, which legitimately might be one of my favorite matches, or legitimately might be my favorite match of all time.
Would you say this is Kaito's best match ever? Because I've seen some people say that.
I can't even think what. Yeah, I mean, maybe one of those Kano matches, but I like this better. I thought this was just amazing. I mean, he was really great here, and like he almost had me rooting for him at times, even though I already knew who won, and I already knew, and I love Go, but like he was just such like Kaito. Like I thought he looked better here in defeat than he has in some of his victories. Like he just looked like he was basically unbeatable when he just kept getting up from all those lariats and the sleeper suplexes and everything. And, by the time Go finally beats him, you're just like, okay, well, he definitely earned that title.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great. I mean, this is again a very John match. It has like a million lariats. It's got that fighting spirit stuff, but not too much that it's goes into goofiness. And I just thought both guys were just really outstanding here. So I'm fine being the high person on it. I've seen a bunch of 4.5, so I'm not like way higher than everybody, but I'm fine being the higher one on this. That's fine.
Yeah, definitely my favorite type of match, that like more traditional, like puro, main event style, where it's theatrical, but it's not like over the top and just super heavy hitting and lots of like memorable moments. It's just like, this is exactly what I want out of wrestling. Just give me this. You don't need to do wacky facial expressions. You don't have to have like crazy gifs and weird shots of Ibushi looking back because Ospreay just flipped out of the Rana. Like, just have a good match. It's not that difficult.
The drag New Japan hour with Skylar here. But anyway, so January 5th, the Noah Reboot. This did again 1528, so almost as many fans as the January 4th. For
it's probably an almost more impressive number, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people went to this before the Dome, because this show was not up against the Dome.
Yeah.
So, anecdotally, I did hear, like, this was right before the Tokyo Dome. So I did hear anecdotally, like, a lot of people went to the show before they went to the Tokyo Dome. So, yeah, I mean, it was a true, like, PWG Mystery Vortex show. They didn't do what New Japan does at New Year's Dash and announce the card beforehand. They just had people come out. So, and I may stay pretty unspoiled on even the matches. I knew the main event, and I knew Yone and Quiet Storm were the opener, but I didn't really know much else about the card. Oh, I knew Muto showed up too. So I guess I did know a lot, but I didn't know the actual, match orders or who was fighting who, really. So let's get into it. The opener was Quiet Storm against Mohamed Yone, which Mohamed Yone won in 6:23 with the Muscle Buster. This was a way more fun match than you probably would think for a 6-minute match with Yone and Quiet Storm. Like, they worked really hard in those 6 minutes, and like there was an awesome spot at one point where they keep doing all these shoulder blocks, and like Quiet Storm just drop kicks Yone's knee out from under him, which is like, why don't more wrestlers do that when they're in these and the shoulder block battles? I guess it's like not fighting spirit honorable or whatever, but that was such a great spot. I love that. But yeah, I went 3 1/4 on this. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, and I think this is, I know Quiet Storm has like a few more dates left, but this is, I guess, his more like de facto goodbye match in a way. So having against Yone, it was like, it was pretty perfect. It was, these old guys who are always working openers, and they sort of get like one last little place to shine, and it totally worked for me.
Oh, we didn't really, I guess, give final thoughts on the 1/4 show as a whole. I can't come down the side that say it's better overall than the New Japan 1/4 show, but it had my favorite match. So hopefully that's good enough to not get like people burning down my house or anything.
Yeah, I think it was a very good show. I think coming out of this whole, both these shows, ultimately, it wasn't like Noah lit the world on fire, but I think it was more impressive from a booking perspective and from like, hey, I'm really interested in what the future holds type of. Yeah, that's the feeling that I have most of.
Yeah. The second match of 1-5, Hao and Neo beat Hajime Ohara and Kinya Okada in 3:56. Neo pinning Okada. So again, talking about Ohara not really having anything to do in this regime, they get the 4-minute loss to give the new junior team a win after they lost the night before. This was fun while it lasted, though. I mean, Okada looked great throwing the Congo guys around, and the corkscrew splash eventually, the finish was really good. And then Congo got jumped by Nosawa and Dick Togo after the match, which was awesome. I completely avoided that spoiler that Dick Togo showed up, because I was like, oh my God, it's Dick Togo.
Well, I knew Togo was working the junior league or whatever they call it, but I did not know that they were coming out after this match. So it was still a really fun surprise. And Dick Togo probably, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So anytime he's going to be around, and of course he can still go. So very excited to see what he's going to do in Noah.
And like so they're like in Sugaragoon, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the implication. It's a little weird because, how long is he going to be around for the company? Is it something? I mean, he having a big angle like this on a big show, you would think maybe they're going to keep him around a little bit. But, he's always a guy who bounces around a lot and is never really tied down. So you can't really predict that.
Michael Elgin beat Masao Inoue in 8 seconds with a lariat. The look on Inoue's face when Elgin came out was kind of pretty funny. And we got to hear Inoue's theme song again, so that's cool. That's not a lot to say about it.
Yeah, once again, ties into what I'm thinking is that Elgin, is due for a big push in this company and maybe even, maybe be involved. He directly called it out in his interview after the match on both nights that he wants to be in the title mix. So I think that's something that we're going to see.
I hope they're building up to lose to go. I hope the God they're not building up for a title reign.
I mean, because I think the thing with Go right now is that he's not going to make anything by beating more people. So you could have Elgin as transitional champ and then have Kaito beat him. I mean, they've already shown with Eddie Edwards that they're willing to do stuff like this. So I wouldn't be super surprised if that is the direction.
Match number 4, Takashi Sugera, Kazushi Sakuraba, and Hideki Suzuki beat Shuhei Taniguchi, Minoru Tanaka, and Hitoshi Kumano in 8:53. Hideki pinned Kumano with the double arm suplex. This was really fucking good and really fucking funny. I don't know if people realize, from the outside, especially if they don't watch a lot of Hideki Suzuki matches, they just think he's, I guess, this dry shooter or whatever. But he is really good at comedy wrestling.
Yes.
This is not some humorless man who only will shoot or do mat wrestling or whatever. I watched this man last year come out dressed like a Gundam. This is not some guy who refuses to have fun with pro wrestling. So that take is so fucking stupid.
Yeah. But also, even a lot of his big title matches, which are in terms of style, are a little bit shooty, or if you want to describe it like that. But he does infuse his matches with a lot of emotion and big moments and drama and stuff. He's not some guy who just works dry matches. His matches are they are dramatic, they are big, and he does work a style that I guess sometimes seems antithetical to that. But he's really just not the dry wrestler that people paint him to be.
I know people act like he's from fucking Rings or something. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, basically. Yeah. But yeah, Sugera and Sakuraba are also very funny here. There was one spot where they kept, Sugera kept telling Sakuraba he'd help him double suplex Taniguchi and kept abandoning him. That was really funny. But yeah, there was also some really cool grappling with Sakuraba against Tanaka and Kumano that I enjoyed. So 3.5 stars, real fun tag match here.
Yeah, would love to see Sakuraba work more this year. Definitely, something look at that team: Suzuki, Sakuraba, and Segura. It's just, you're not going to get much better than that.
Yeah, that's a great. I see if Sakura's going to be part of Sugera going forward, I'm very excited. So. Match number 5. The show really blew along here. Kano, Masa Kitamiya, and Yoshiki Inamura beat Shiro Koshinaka, Akitoshi Saito, and Akira in 8:51. It was a Kano on something with Saito. Oh, the top rope double stomp. I don't know. This was the one match in the undercard here that I wasn't that into. It was very dull for a while, I thought, until of all people, Akitoshi Saito tagged in, and the match really picked up. Him and Inamura went way harder than anybody else in this match. So that was fun, but the rest of the match was pretty dull. Yeah. I went to it half on. It was just all right.
Yeah, more felt for me the useful thing to get out of this match is what Inamura's future role might be, what his future is going to hold, because obviously I think they're high on him, and he definitely seems like the sort of next guy up. in terms of, even though he's a little bit older, he is pretty new to the company. I think this is only his third year in Noah. And outside of his look, he has pretty much everything else you need. He does look a little strange to me. I don't know, almost like a bootleg, like Irie, but he does. He does have something.
He's only 27. He made it sound like he's 35 or something.
I mean, when you look at like Kaito Kiyomiya, it's just like it's all relative.
Match number 6, Kaito Kiyomiya, speaking of, defeating El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. I'm not going to leave out
a third straight ethnicity of names that you can't pronounce.
In 8:26 with a Tiger Suplex hold. This was where I was going to talk about how much I thought Wagner looked great on these two shows. I thought this was a really fun, short match. Kaito won clean. I went 3.5 on it. But yeah, Wagner, he really looks like he's transitioned into Japanese wrestling really well, which you never know with luchadors. I've seen enough of them in Japanese wrestling over the last 20 years by now, where it pretty much, there's no in between. I feel like there's no one, well, maybe Volador or something, but no one that just comes. There's very few that just come to Japan and are just there. They're either really good at it or they're really bad at it. And I think Wagner's kid is in the really good at it category. He looks really, he looks like he's made that transition really well.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about Lucha is that there are really only 2 to 3 people that have a sort of platform in terms of the wide world of wrestling, tastemakers that talk about Lucha. So a lot of times their taste is sort of what people just assume is correct. So you have things like, Cubs fan likes Volador, but he doesn't like El Bestia del Ring. He doesn't like El Terrible. So people just assume that those are facts. And then sometimes they go over to Japan and people are like, what? This is completely off. El Terrible is awesome. Or Volador sucks. I think it's just, sort of a function of just Lucha's overall, not really being the most buzzworthy region in the world for most people. So, people's expectations for work rate are just a little bit skewed in that way.
Yeah. But this is a good match, though. Do you want to say anything about the actual match?
I thought it was really good. And I think having matches like this for Kaito is super smart. He sort of run through most of his main event feuds and matches. And he's had, of course, multiple matches with a few people like Kano. And I think having him be able to have more matches like this where he's sort of working an undercard singles match where he can just put together a really solid match and be over and do cool things and work on new aspects to his offense, I think is really smart. And I think if Noah continues to, it looks like they obviously want to have more international flair. They have partnerships in UK and Mexico now and US with impacts. They have the connections all over the place. And I think they would be smart to keep bringing in new people to have, not only feed into their main event scene, but also feed people like Kaito, who just needs some fresh opponents.
The semi-main event, Keiji Muto teaming up with RATEL'S here. Daisuke Harada, Tadasuke Hayata, and Yohei. They beat Doug Williams, Yoshinari Ogawa, Kotaro Suzuki, Atsushi Kotoge, and Chris Ridgway in 1818. Muto pinned Suzuki with a Shining Wizard. This is when Tadasuke came out and led his team out. I was fucking dying at him because he has we talked about the fucking blonde hair, the long blonde hair. It looks ridiculous. He has these quote unquote cool guy sunglasses. He has a leather jacket which looks too small for him, and he's doing this finger gun salute as he comes out. He's fucking, I don't know, he's fucking Brian Bowen or something.
Yes. Honestly,
I'm how can you not love this man? He's so awesome.
Yes, he is the coolest wrestler of all time. I'm convinced.
I'm just this man doesn't give a fuck what you think of him. He's going to wear his too small jacket. He's going to do his goddamn finger guns. He doesn't give a fuck. It's so great.
Fitting that he's in this match with Keiji Muto, since he deserves to be the next Keiji Muto. I'm going on the record. Tadasuke is the next Keiji Muto.
When Muto came out, and first of all, Muto was amazingly over, as you would expect. But like when they showed Muto like in the corner with RATEL'S, I'm just like cracking up just looking at this because it looks so like here is this legitimate legend, and here's RATEL'S. It was just like, oh my god. You could say it's 4 legends, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. This team is all legends. First of all, that's as far as I'm concerned, that's what it is. Because in his eyes, you can look into his eyes and he just sees Tadasuke. He's just like he's not the next one.
I was like crying with laughter just watching them in the corner. Yeah. I was like, Mike, this is so great.
Yeah.
But the match was fine. I don't know.
Yeah, the match was fine. But I mean, just the thought of Keiji Muto just looking at Tadasuke and being like, fuck Sonata. Like, I have the new protege. Like, this guy is gonna be the biggest star in Japan. That just warms my soul. This is all headcanon, but I really do. This is what I believe deep down.
There's the best moment in the match, which I did think went way too long, 18 minutes. So you should have cut some in from this. But the best moment in this match was like Yohei at one point like does the Muto like finger poses, the too sweet for like 10 years.
Yes.
And Muto's like, okay, can you hit the guy finally? And then Yohei misses the Shining Wizard, but Ogawa just like simply ducks. And it looked like fucking Lucy moving the football. It was so fucking funny. And then there was like a quadruple suplex like Quadrado, which led to the Dragon Screw and the Shining Wizard for the pin. I only went 3 stars. It was all right, but pretty decent. I had a good time with it, but
it reminded me of like a house show main event type tag where you're just going to make everyone happy. People are going to cheer for the big spots. It's like it totally served its purpose in terms of this type of show, what it's going to do.
The main event for the GHC tag team titles, Naomichi Marufuji and Masaaki Mochizuki defeating Axe's Go Shiozaki and Katsuhiko Nakajima in 24:58, an inside cradle by Mochizuki on Nakajima. So Axe's the 2019 Wrestling Omakase Tag Team of the Year. I'm sure that made you happy.
You're welcome.
And you were like, are you one of the last voters? There was like one last vote that put them over the top. It might have been you.
Yeah, I voted the number 1, and I know that you said at the time that I voted that they were losing to the Lucha Brothers, I think, or some terrible team.
They beat the Lucha Brothers by like 3 points in the end, I think.
Jesus Christ! No, first of all, the people that you invite on here, I mean, you got to curate a little bit. You can't be having Sean Cedar on here. What is Sean Cedar talking about Ring of Honor and some Come on.
Look. If you're going to ask someone to come on and talk about Ring of Honor, I mean, Sean Cedar is pretty much it at this point.
Yeah,
who else is going to talk?
There's some people who I have problems with. Lawson Comedy, that guy. Kelly Harass.
I want to. First of all, Kelly was great. I went to Japan with that man. Don't be mean.
Tell them to vote better in the awards because there's more important things than being a nice and kind person and a genuine like nice soul. Like you got to also vote correctly in wrestling awards. That's the most important thing in life.
I want to make sure that I'm making clear that we are kidding. And Sean,
I'm not kidding. This officially does represent the opinions of the Voices of Wrestling Corporation.
I'm kidding, and Sean is a very nice man who I consider to be a close friend. I'm sure he'll be back on Omakase any day now.
I've been on an episode with him.
Have you really?
Yeah, and he follows me on Twitter. So It's okay. We're all good. It's not like me and like Aaron Bentley or something where we might fight at some point. Me and Sean Cedar, we're good. We'll be all right.
Yeah, Sean probably did both with Lucha Brothers, but I mean it's fine.
You know what? Joe Lanza loves me now, so all things are possible.
Joe Lanza does.
He gets on Discord every day, and he's just like, man, I can't wait to see what this guy does. He rolls out of bed. He's just like, man, I'm so excited.
He's like, I can't wait to see Arms of Sleep.
Yes.
a great fun time. He definitely, definitely enjoys it.
Yeah, how can you not enjoy things from this? Just like at Joe Lanza. It's like Will Ospreay is the worst wrestler on earth. He's 1,000 times worse than Gunso or some shit like that. 90% of what I post.
I mean, Joe at least is aware that you're trolling him, whereas like there are some people that get trolled on that Discord that have no idea they're being trolled, and it's like, it's really something. But shout out to the Voice of Wrestling Discord. There's a link in the description if you want to come join in on the fun. But yeah. By the way, you should have dropped the $5 for that Patreon. Not that they give me a cut of this, but it was worth it for that Evolve game. That was something. The Evolve Pro Wrestling content.
Yeah, so I don't know what position in my life I will be in where I'm going to be like, man, I just really got to give money to the Voices of Wrestling Patreon. No offense, but it's just not something that I see as part of my future goals.
But look, that Evolve game was worth the $5. I have to say that was really funny. So you got your $5 worth of that. But yeah, I don't know what we're talking about the main event, I guess. Yes, Axis won the tag team of the year, which I'm sure was like the one result. Did you even look at the results, Sky? I don't even know.
No, I did not. I was pretty good about not looking at everything ahead of time and stuff, but I did come in surprised. I actually think almost like working backwards in this match, like the finish.
No. I meant the Omakase award.
Oh, the Omakase roll. I mean, I listened to it and then I would fast forward when everyone started talking about stuff I thought was dumb. So it only took me like 20 minutes to listen to it.
Wow.
But
I also published the full results on the website, so
you could have saved me a lot of time. Then I could just do it and then like quote tweets like, imagine thinking this, and then I
will be honest. The only result that made me kind of mad was Ospreay for us for the year. I knew he was going to win Most Outstanding, but I was like actually angry at the end when we calculated it, and he won Rest of the Year too. I was like, "Fuck off, really?"
You should just fix it. I mean, how are they going to know?
Look. I am an honest person, okay? No one will ever be able to accuse me of fixing these awards when Will Ospreay, a man who is like my 20th favorite wrestler at best in New Japan Pro Wrestling, won Wrestler of the Year and Most Outstanding and Match of the Year.
Well, next year, just give me access to the votes, and I will help you calculate. And as a result, for some reason, like, Masao Inoue will win Wrestler of the Year.
Well, people thought I fucking fixed it last year when Takeda won. But I'm like, no, that was completely legitimate. Masaaki Takeda won.
And justified and correct. So,
what do you want me to tell you? I can't, because people were asking me about that at the end. They're like, Takeda won? And I was like, yes. I don't know.
You're catering these New Japan fans now. That's the problem. You have these crazy people on your podcast.
I have like the same exact guests. I don't know what you're talking. There was like 5 people who weren't on the show.
Too many Mongo ebooks and stuff. People like that. Other people that I'm going to call out one by one.
Okay, Mongo's a very nice man as well. He's very good.
He created Big Trump fundraiser and like Why Am I So Violent? So those are singular works of art that will stand the test of time. So that alone, you're all right in my book.
And then everybody goes so crazy about the New York 64. It's good times on Twitter. But yes, the main event here, which we haven't even talked about at all. This was really good. I thought this was awesome. Mochizuki showing up here in a big spot is like, first of all, like proof that Nosawa is definitely booking this if people still count it. It's like Mochizuki was like Tokyo heavyweight champion or Tokyo world champion, whatever the fuck that belt was, for like a million years. So Nosawa loves him some Mochizuki. So yeah, when he showed up here, I was like, oh well, that definitely is Nosawa booking. But yeah, I mean, he's that also shows like why he's such a great choice to be Booker, because he's doing a great job at like the basic stuff, and he has this fucking Rolodex of like apparently everyone in Japanese wrestling. I mean, he has Keiji Budo in the semi-main. Yeah, and he's got Sakuraba on the show, and like Dick Togo and Mochizuki. I mean, that's some great guest stars.
Yeah, it's such a great blend right now of like these like younger up and coming guys. Plus, you're bringing in all these international guys. Plus you have like all these Japanese legends that can still go, and it's just like such a celebration of just like all of wrestling throughout Japan. And it's like, man, this is the greatest. Like, it's like one of my favorite booking jobs right now in terms of just like. Lots of stuff makes sense. There's lots of fresh feuds. Like just the roster that they have right now is just so great. So I mean, look,
he's in the question, I guess, instead of out of the question. But didn't he steal a taxi?
Did he steal a taxi? This is maybe before my time.
I feel like he did. I feel like he's the one who stole the taxi. Let's double check. Masawa, wrong guy.
I like him even more now.
Taxi. Yeah, he definitely did steal a taxi. February 20th, 2011, Nozawa was arrested on charges of stealing a taxi and driving it without having a driving license. He didn't have a license to drive. What do you stole his taxi?
Did you know that he? Did you know that he was part of the Juggalo World Order, the JW?
That I did know. I did know that as well. I mean, look, Nozawa is a real one, and I'm very happy that he is the booker of this company, and it's been so great because, like, this man is out of his mind, and the fact that he, like, turned out to be such a great booker is really funny. So I'm all for it. I like some comedy in my wrestling. I'm happy that Noah turning the company over to the taxi thief who like used to be in the Juggalo World Order is working out really well. That's great comedy. But yeah, so this match is great. Marufuji, he like blocked the PK from Nakajima at one point by like kicking his ankle, which I thought was awesome. There was this really cool exchange with Go and Marufuji, like ending with like this short arm lariat by Go. That was great. There was Nakajima with this really cool middle kick counter, the Sankaku Geri by Mochizuki, which is like that quarter. I think it literally means quarter kick.
Yeah.
And then like the finish was like elevated like a quarter star for me, where like they go Shiozaki's doing like the running interference, like trying to keep Marufuji out of the ring, and before he could even turn around, he because Nakajima was like going with a brainbuster, so Go thinks it's exactly what they got in the bag, and before he could even turn it around, Mochizuki turns it into a cradle for the pin. That finish was awesome. Match was awesome. I went 4 stars flat on it. I really loved this quite a bit, and I thought it was a great main event and a way to cap off a fun show that I think is very skippable until the main, but I don't think you're gonna like not enjoy it or anything. So
yeah, but I went 4 stars flat as well, and I also agree the finish was like the best part. I mean, it's a really smart way to protect everyone in this situation because Go obviously champ, so you have to be careful with him. And Nakajima just lost to Elgin, and he's probably someone that you want to eventually push again in the future. So I think this way is a good way of getting the titles off of them. After having a sort of great, like incredible year last year, you get the titles off of them with no one coming out worse for wear, which is pretty smart.
And then you have to give Nozawa credit for a lot of people pointed this out, but Nakajima takes 2 straight pins here and then like immediately goes to Wrestle 1 and wins the world title.
Yes.
Like that's like New Japan-esque, like bullying a smaller promotion. So way to go, Noah, I guess. But, I mean, what the fuck is Wrestle 1 going to do about it at this point? So, but yeah, there you go. And then what the next, like, I guess, big show, I don't know if that counts. There's a Noah 20th anniversary event, Noah the Chronicle Volume 1 from the Nagoya International Conference Hall on the February 24th. And there's another one at Yokohama Bunka Gymnasium, which I guess will be the real big show with the first quarter on March 8th. And then they're going to run Otis City on May 2nd. I think they announced it the day before, which is Noah the Chronicle Volume 3. So we'll see how Otis City does. I hope they sell out. They should have enough momentum to sell out Otis City, hopefully. So we'll see.
Yeah, very
overboard gym, as people call it.
Yeah, very excited to see what from this current tour is going to eventually come out. What will make tape if it does, because a lot of times with the block tournaments, they will at least upload even clipped versions of a lot of stuff. Because I know Minoru Tanaka versus Chris Ridgway already happened, which sounds really cool. Ogawa versus Juna Miyawaki already happened. Daisuke Harada and Minoru Tanaka already happened. So there's some cool stuff that I really want to check out, if it does see the light of day.
And there you go. That's Noah. Let's get into some questions here. We did get a few, so I should have been pulling those up, and I wasn't. But this is where you kill some airtime.
Well, I'll fill terms. I had a list of topics. So Death Stranding was the best game of the year. That was really good. I did say I was going to talk about that. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about All-Star by Smash Mouth because I was listening to it again recently, and it has a very prescient like global warming part in like the second verse. But I also saw someone make a joke about it on Twitter today, so maybe I'm just late to the party.
All right, well, I have the questions up now.
Okay. Well, you stopped me before I got to the Sopranos coma episodes.
Yeah.
So.
Thomas Fishback at Wrestling Ratings. Would Noah run Sumo Hall again? I guess he's saying, like, just would they do it? I don't see why not. They did really well this year. Or this past year.
Yeah, I think they definitely will. It's just a matter of, I guess the second part of his question, too, is would they run on top? Which
he's
probably a little bit tougher. Yeah.
I would do, it's a good question. Maybe you could you do like the Go versus Nakajima showdown? Axis explodes.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do that. I was thinking, you might want to do Nakajima if you do want to give him like a, his quote unquote big title run. That's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I don't think they would put, like I said, I am pretty bullish on them including Elgin in the title picture sooner rather than later. I don't think that would be a place where he would headline, but you do have to consider that it's like Elgin was like an IC champ in New Japan. Like he is like probably does have a really strong name recognition among a lot of Japanese fans and probably is viewed somewhat as like a prestigious star. So that is something that, maybe there's a little bit of disconnect between like us and what Noah might think.
Yeah. He also said, who wins the Hideki Kano feud?
I mean, you have to think Kano is sort of downcycled right now, and Hideki could always, he could be brought in multiple times. You could bring him in. I think Hideki wins, and then maybe we'll get something else to do after, and, maybe get some sort of title shot down the line, something like that.
I mean, you can always go back with him and Go. Since
exactly.
Yeah. Brian at Liger X-Bomb, what do you think is next for Kaito Kiyomiya? We kind of talked a little bit about this. Probably like, just keep him away from the title for the year and let him like build himself back up a little bit, and then maybe give him like a big signature title win. Even do it again on January 4th, maybe.
Yeah, I mean he's a made guy at this point, so I think all you have to do right now is just keep him in the mid card, keep him winning singles matches, and maybe evolve him in the tag scene again. Like, I think he is in a pretty good place where you don't have to put the title back on him until next year. So why not just burn through some other, unique feuds and matches and see what else you can run on top and see who else you can build up so that, when Kaito's next reign is coming along, you have some fresh matches for him.
At Dakota Ibushi, which is a great name. I always say that because the guy really does live in like one of these Dakotas, I think. If there really is an all-star Olympic Puro show in the Tokyo Dome, what would be your card? I think you have to always keep in mind, you got to look back at these things. It's going to be like a fucking 8-man tag or something. And like you're not going to get Okada versus Kaito Kiyomiya or whatever. So I would just do the 3 aces team, right? I mean, that makes sense. Like Okada, and Kiyomiya and,
Kento.
Kento. I don't know why I'm suddenly blanking on Kento Miyahara's name.
Well, too much New Japan filling your brain right now. I can't remember the greatest wrestler in the world.
I would do those 3 and then like just match them up. Like, I don't know. Well, you don't need someone to take a fall is the problem. But like you could do like, you'd have to put like fucking Yoshitatsu on the other team and then like maybe like Naito and I don't know, Kano or something. So something like that probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would almost want some of like the more weirder matches. The match, I don't know why this like struck out to me. This was not be like a main event, but I was like, man, I really want like RATEL'S versus like the Suzuki Gun Juniors. Like that would rule awesome. So much.
Like if you do like Daisuke Harada, Tadasuke, and Yohei Hayata against like Desperado Kanemaru, fucking Doki in there, and like I don't even know who the fourth would be.
Put Taichi back in.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why that popped in my head. I was like, that's the match. Like, I was almost mad that it wasn't real when I thought about it.
I mean, that would be great. But yeah, and like do, I don't know. Like you could do like Jake Lee and, Nomura, and someone just joined them, didn't they? Like Abe.
Oh yeah.
So like, and I think someone else did too. God, who the fuck else just joined today? They were going crazy about it in the Slack before.
No,
saying this makes it the best feud. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I know it was somebody really. Oh, it was Ayano Yoshida.
Oh, that's cool.
Too. Yeah. It's like, dude, those 4 against like fucking, I don't know. You could either do Sagara Gun or actually maybe against Congo would be better. But
that'd be
yeah,
cool.
I mean, I think those are the kind of matches you're going to get. Basically, you're going to get like a lot of like you're always going to need a fall guy. It's going to be a lot of tags, but it'll be a really fun show. I mean,
those are the types of matches that like I feel more attached to nowadays. Because you do have to like a lot of times it is like carefully booked, and you do get like all these cool matchups within the match. It's just like with the Liger retirement match where a lot of people were complaining that it wasn't some super high profile thing. It's like, this is Japanese wrestling, like this type of match. This is exactly what you should want.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think what you're talking, like what people are, I think what people really don't get, I guess, when it comes to these shows, you're not going to get like these singles dream matches, but I think these shows end up always being really fun. Like the one about the one for the all together one for the
it was like for the relief,
that was like that's one of the greatest shows, not one of the greatest shows ever, but like one of my favorite shows ever.
So, and the atmosphere is always really cool because it's like all the different fans of the different promotions.
Yeah, so I hope it happens. I mean, the Olympics is a great excuse to do it, and I hope they do it. So I hope we get a whole bunch of like really cool multi-man tags. Travis Zick says this is the best Noah has been in a while, right? I don't know. You can answer that question better than me.
I mean, yes, I would say if you're talking about like in general Nasawa's reign, sort of as Booker of Noah, I think I've enjoyed it a lot. Basically, post Suzuki-gun like leaving, I've enjoyed it pretty much the entire time. But I think now they have like they have the biggest roster to like leverage different matchups. It seems like there's lots of people are over. They're doing really good from a business perspective. And last year they were my number one company in the world. So I can't say that it's like this is the best they're ever going to be, because it's like, how do you argue better than number one for me? But I do think that this year they have an opportunity to be even better, which is the most important thing.
Okay, so we got a couple questions on the Voice of Wrestling Discord before we wrap it up here. Brett says, one, what is the ceiling for Inamura and Okada in Noah?
I mean, I think Okada is probably I don't see him as like as much of like a future star type per se. I mean, obviously it's so hard to project out right now what people's like career is going to be like in 10 years. But I would say Inamura probably has the higher ceiling based on just his build and his working style and, the type of matchups he could have. He is more of a unique, body type and wrestler in Noah. And like I said earlier, the only thing that would keep me is he does look a little strange. It's like Kaisuke Ishii. Like he just was blessed with some sort of weird face. That's just like, I'm not sure if this is a top guy face.
Yeah. His other question was just fuck Jimmy Lloyd for some reason. So
I think because in the Discord, like I will talk up Jimmy Lloyd and people act like he is what's wrong with like, this is what's wrong with the indies in the US because he's a deathmatch guy and he's fat. Like saying Jimmy Lloyd is what's wrong with the U.S. Indies is like saying like, I don't know, like the convenience store owner is the most sympathetic person in Ferguson. Like it's something that people will just say to be like, oh yeah, this is just like, this is how I make people mad. It has no bearance on reality because he's like a very consistently fun worker who can work non-death matches and work sprints and stuff. And he actually had a really good match on this ICW New York show that had like Takeda versus Low-Ki on top. I don't know if you've seen that, but that match was worth a watch too. It's very cool. And definitely not exactly what you expect. Maybe not like a work rate classic or anything, but very worth a watch.
Okay. I do not watch American Indies, so
it's Takeda. I mean, Takeda versus Low-Ki. Come on.
Yeah, I should watch that, I guess.
It sounds good. And it's like no ropes. It's like chains instead of ropes.
I have a schedule of watching Okada Naito like every day, so it's hard to fit in time.
Yep.
Jacob Kaito Kiyomiya is number one fan, so he had a rough January 4th, I guess. Who do you see taking the title from Shiozaki? I think we said it could be fucking Elgin, which would suck.
I'm going on record. I do think it's going to be Elgin, and I'm sorry to report this. Like I regret to inform you, but like you can go back and do Elgin Nakajima again. Like Elgin does open up a lot of possibilities. And if you're talking about, we've just had this big Kaito reign and he like ran a few matches into the ground a little bit, and you're looking to like really diversify the main event scene. Like, I see the logic. It's not for me, but I completely see like why they would do that.
And then MC. Oh, sorry, you can still go.
I don't see. There's not that many possibilities in terms of who you want to be a top guy, unless you're really gonna Go is already a rerun of other people. So
we could do the big Kano reign finally, but I don't know. MC then said, who is the next GHC Heavyweight Champion that hasn't won the title prior? So they won it for the first time. I think we just said Elgin, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would even consider. I mean, maybe if you're... that was the other person that I considered. Because I do think that the way he's treating the company seems like he's like an important piece. And it does seem like it would make sense for him to... He would at least be in a title match or two. So I feel like that's, you already get pretty close.
Yeah. And then Jacob also asked, who would you like to see get a run with their secondary singles belt, the national title, which you couldn't remember the name of, but it's okay, Jacob. I don't really know. I mean, it's hard to tell what this belt's supposed to be so far because it's only been one champion. I assume it's supposed to be like the IWGP Intercontinental, where it's like a belt for top stars that aren't currently in the heavyweight scene. So, I mean, you could really give it to a lot of different people, but I wouldn't mind seeing Kano get a run with it, I guess, if he's not going to have the heavyweight title for a long time.
Yeah, I was thinking Masaaki Kiyomiya maybe, but also, this is another place where you might, maybe, what if you slot in Hideki here, and it becomes like he gets to work all these cool matches, like second from the top, and he can like definitely main event a lot of shows based on that. So that would be cool.
There's a lot of possibilities there, yeah. So. Yeah. All right, so we can wrap this one up, Skylar. Thank you for coming on. Why don't you plug your Twitter before you deactivate again?
So my Twitter is at twitter.com with 2 W's, TWITTRER, I do deactivate every once in a while just because, like I said, growing anxieties about the global West and the idea that we're just destroying everything in our path and war with Iran, and that the only way forward seems to be violent communist revolution, which, we'll see how that goes. So, luckily the only thing keeping me warm at night is Pro Wrestling Noah. So that it keeps the demons at bay for just another night.
Skylar's saying he will return to talk Noah again, I guess.
Yes, I will be back. And I will continue with my topics I did not get to today. I did not get to 100 Gex. And I did not get to the Sopranos Coma episodes or fake boxing. So those will be punted.
Oh my god, the fucking fake boxing. Fuck the guy. Look, people keep fucking saying like you're not allowed to judge these spots unless you watch the matches. Which, by the way, I'm not watching anything for NXT UK, so fuck off with that. But I watched the Devlin Star. I watched the Devlin Star match. It doesn't work any better than that. They look like two fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's literally like the emotional climax of the match, and you're like, well, you can't just judge it based on the most important moment in the match. It's like, yeah, I can.
It's like, well, look, they're like fucking. It's like, oh, they're just hauling off wildly. I'm like, they don't. I've seen real life fights before. I really been in that many, but I've seen them, and I've gone. I used to go to casinos a lot.
Wait, how many fights have you been in? Because you said not that many.
No. I've never been in a fight. I've seen plenty of fucking fights, and nobody punches like that. I don't know what fucking fights people are watching where they're saying, oh, this looks like a real fight. Like, people in real fights throw a couple punches, they grab each other, and they end up on the ground. That's it. They don't fucking stand there throwing these punches that look completely ridiculous. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. If you like it, that's fine. But saying it looks like a real fight is like, that is crazy. It does not look anything like a real fight.
That is truly insane.
Yeah, I mean, like, it does not look anything. I mean, like, oh, it's not supposed to be, they're not trained boxers. I'm like, they don't look like trained boxers. They don't look like people in a real fucking fist fight. They just look like two little idiots, like throwing.
They look like Ronda Rousey's like training videos. That is exactly the type of punch it is.
So fucking stupid. Anyway, that probably pissed people off there. Thank you for egging me on with that at the very end.
Well, no one is listening to the plugs anyway. We could say literally anything. We could, if there's anything that you want to say right now about any of the people who work at Voices Wrestling, now is the time, because they will never know about it. No one listens.
Them all.
Who listens this far?
I did soft block Aaron Bentley. But he has not refollowed me. He got so I shouldn't really say anything because it was stuff that happened in Slack, which we're not supposed to talk about.
It's all right. I'll just read what you're typing to me right now. It's like, oh, I hate that motherfucker. Oh wow, John, go on.
No, I think Aaron and I buried the hatchet, but he still hasn't refollowed me on Twitter though. So there you go.
Well, he has all this Patreon money now. Maybe he can. I thought that would make him a little bit happier. I do have one other plug. So there's a game coming out called Doom Eternal. May have had a small part in that. So buy it. It's very cool. It'll be out on PS4, Xbox, Switch, eventually PC. So if you're still listening to this point, still listening to the Aaron Bentley shit talk hour, then also buy Doom Eternal.
A very nice man most of the time who managed to really piss me off in the Voice Wrestling Slack last week, but whatever. I'm sure I really piss off half those people sometimes.
I feel like if you record 50 episodes about a promotion that has only run like 15 shows, then your brain is just more powerful than mine. I can't handle that. And additionally, you're now making money about that show. Like,
I couldn't believe how long they went before AEW did anything. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like an hour and a half of just like recapping Being the Elite.
Yeah, it's something. Being the
That's
Elite.
right. You're on notice. The feud has begun of Everything Elite versus Wrestling Omakase.
I want to say again, they're all very nice people.
You got to work people. This is the angle. You got to really, hatch it out with them behind the scenes. But now this is when you're like, yeah, fuck them. Actually, I never liked them. You got to work the people. Get the numbers up.
I met Nate in Chicago. Very nice man. What was I going to say? No, I totally forgot. Being the Elite. I've watched it a couple of times, and I never understand why I watch it. It's one of those things I turn on, and then I'm like, why am I watching this? I fucking hate this. But it's like in my YouTube queue when I'm sitting there on the bus, and somehow I end up watching it pretty frequently. What a terrible show.
Yeah.
What a terrible show.
Yeah.
It has somehow gotten progressively worse, which is really something. But yeah. Anyway.
I don't really understand the appeal at all of just watching it's like basically like a bad Netflix comedy, but there just happens to be bad wrestlers in it too, so you like it. I just don't understand it, but do you?
It's so much worse than it was when they were in New Japan. I don't really even. It's like they can. I guess because they can really do whatever they want now.
I mean, when it was a travel vlog, actually, I sort of enjoyed it. I watched I remember when it was just like the Young Bucks talking about their flights being delayed. I was like, relatable content. Like, this is cool. But when it's just like the Young Bucks like having some Triple H stand-in who's like doing like jokes about burying people, it's like, wow, cool. This is just Reddit squared circle in video form.
It's really terrible. I don't even remember what the fuck was on. It's one of these things that I watch it and then like it goes through some like brain hole where I may as well have not watched it because I'm trying to think of like what the last 2 episodes were about that I watched, and the only thing I can remember is that fucking backyarder that people think was a racist did like a 2-second cameo.
Superhuman.
Yeah. So the only thing they're like, oh, this guy's getting a lot of controversy. Let's put him on the show.
Yeah, I will say it. I'll hide it on the end of the podcast since it's a hot take, but Superhuman is better than Will Ospreay. Let's just be real with ourselves. Best high flyer 2020. Okay. That's who I'm voting for.
Okay. We don't have that in the Omakase Awards, so you have to vote for it in the Observer Awards.
Oh, my Omakase Awards that I'm going to fix.
Okay. Anyway, so you plugged your stuff. I guess I will plug that, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Wrestle Omakase. Wrestling did not fit. And folks, next week, as I mentioned much earlier, because I'm a fucking moron, I am watching and reviewing World Wrestling Entertainment Presents the Royal Rumble 2020. This show has The Fiend and Daniel Bryan in a strap match. Why a strap match? Of all the fucking match stipulations you can bring back from the mothballs, a fucking strap match? What is wrong with these people?
They're really trying to test to see if Daniel Bryan can make anything work.
I guess. My God. Yeah, so I'm really not excited to watch that at all. I mean, the Rumble matches are always like a baseline level of fun, even when they're terrible. So I guess that's fine. But yeah, me and Jack Beckman from Voice of Wrestling. He's the only one who was dumb enough to agree, because Nicole and I are leaving on a vacation the next day on Monday, like a little mini vacation for her birthday. So I have to record it like the moment the Royal Rumble ends. So
first of all, there's a running joke about Rich Craich taking lots of vacations. I feel like you are always going on vacation. Really, 1% John over here.
We're just going to fucking Foxwoods. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but like 2 nights, it's whatever. But we're gonna anyway. So we're gonna record that podcast. You really threw me at that. We're gonna record that podcast.
I feel like you're flustered because it's true. This is being exposed.
I go to a lot of anime cons, and I go to Japan like every year, so it's fair. And I'm going to we're going to Europe this year too. So
no wonder you don't get along with the Everything Elite guys. Just not a real social democrat. You're part of the 1%.
That's true. But yeah, so saying Jack and I are going to review the Royal Rumble, which fucking looks terrible as far as Bailey versus Lacey Evans. That's a real match, apparently. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin, which I can't believe they've been feuding since like September.
Feels like they've been feuding my entire life.
It's so bad, but yes, we're going to watch Roman Reigns and King Corbin. So we're going to review that. We're also going to review the DDT Sweet Dreams Korakuen, which is on the same day, the 26th. So hopefully that will be fun at least, and fun to talk about. Masaaki Naka going for the KOD title that'll be cool, I guess. So tune in next week, Wrestling Omakase. Until then, folks, please don't leave me another 1-star review about MJF. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time.